Yes, I never even talked to him about it.
Yeah, I'm gonna go see him and ask him.
So Pat's not ill or
I was really
anything?
surprised.
No, ACWD has a special meeting
Oh,
Every
right.
April.
every April.
Right. He's a braver man than I. I find ACWD meetings very dry.
I haven't been.
Smart woman.
ECWD.
Does Apple Time say it's
What's your Apple
good?
time? Good?
7.
I didn't have my,
Oh,
So I would like to call the Tuesday, April 9th, 2019 meeting of the Coastside County Water District Board of Directors to order. And could you please call roll? Gina?
Director Larimer,
Here.
Vice President Michelson,
here.
Director Feldman.
Here.
Director Reynolds.
Here.
And President Coco.
Here. And Vice President Michelson, could you please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amen. Thank you. And seeing no members of the general public, other than a couple of Coastside County Water District associates, we'll skip and go to the special order of business. And could you please swear in our newly appointed member of the Board of Directors, Jim Larimer? Thank
I'd be
you.
happy to.
Should we all stand and celebrate him, or should we
You
just
don't
watch?
need to. You can sit or stand. Just
Oh,
raise your
wow.
right hand. And repeat after me. I state your name.
I, James Larimer,
Do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United
the
States
Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States
to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and the Constitution of the State of California,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully
that I will well and faithfully
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
upon which I am about to enter.
upon which I am about to enter.
Thank you.
Well, I'd like to take a moment just to welcome you on the Board of Directors, and I was very pleased to see how the appointment process went, and I really am excited to have you back to give us a hand with the challenges that are before us here at Coastside County Water District. So welcome back, Jim.
Thank you. I'd like to thank all of you for having the faith of appointing me. I had a lot of competition for this position, and I'm sure it was a hard choice. So thank you so much for putting some faith in me, and I hope I won't disappoint you.
I was very pleased to pick you, and I was thrilled that we had so much community enthusiasm to show up for the position. So you were in great company, and that was really rewarding to see. Clearly, we're the team to join.
Well, I'm happy there's no learning curve.
Yes.
Yeah, so this is, I know, up and running. I mean, this is,
It's been a big gap, so.
no, I mean, this is, so it's just, we keep doing the business of, the water district, which is what we're supposed to be doing.
I was thinking that it was sort of quiet around here over the last few years. A little dull maybe sometimes, but now I'm thinking that it's going to start to be a little more exciting than it has been with our newest members. So welcome aboard, Jim.
Thanks, Bob, I think I'm going to disappoint you.
All right.
I hope I do. By the way, Dave gave me a tour, and I was just amazed at what I saw. The place is in just fantastic shape, and I spent an afternoon or several hours with Barry and Dave going over the budget, and this district is in wonderfully good shape. So you guys have done a fantastic job.
So I had a quick question for Catherine.
Yeah.
What's the difference between affirm and solemnly swear? And why don't you solemnly affirm?
Well, it's part of the Constitution, so I think we would have to go back and ask them why
Wait, you
they
mean
made
in
it so
the
wordy.
Constitution it says you can affirm or swear? Really?
It says that you have to affirm and swear, I believe.
Oh, and.
Yeah.
But now we've slacked off and you can do either one? And what's the difference?
Good questions. Actually, it says, I do solemnly swear parenthetically or affirm that I will support and defend the Constitution. So that's what it says in the Constitution.
Okay. I'll be darned.
I cannot tell you the difference between swearing and affirming.
Huh?
Good, I didn't know either.
We're not trying to change anything in the Constitution.
No, I was just really curious because if this is the oath that you're taking and it's giving you a choice by the fourth word, you already have to make a choice.
Well, so you really
That's
want
good.
to parenthetically support
Apparently so.
one of the two, at least.
Apparently
But
so.
you could support
Good
both.
to have
Well,
it.
if that's the most troubling question we have for the day's meeting, I'll be a happy
Well, there's two
camper.
kinds of ors, don't forget. It's probably an inclusive or.
Thanks for raising that point, and I'm sure that our illustrious attorney will get back to us with some very specific
Right away.
information via Patrick on his return. So the next agenda item is the consent calendar, and
I reviewed the claims and I found them to be in order.
are there any items that any of the directors would like to pull to discuss? Or
No.
Can I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the consent calendar as it is written.
Second.
It's been moved by Director Reynolds, seconded by Vice President Michelson, that we approve the consent calendar as presented, items A through K. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Sorry.
Don't have to-
That's okay.
Oh, you don't mind if we don't roll call?
You can do whatever you want.
We
No.
can
Roll
do
call?
either or, is that the deal? I would like a roll call, I'm sorry.
Director Larmer.
Yes.
Vice President Michelson.
Yes.
Director Feldman.
Yes.
Director Reynolds.
Yes.
And President Coverdell.
Very, very yes. Okay, thank you. Are there any meetings attended or director comments?
Oh,
Yes.
okay, good start there.
Yeah. So I went to the Cal Nevada AWWA meeting, and it's twice a year, and this is the Sacramento one. And I won't bore you with all the cool stuff I learned, but I was traumatized. The governor sent his representative, I forget who it was, and the message was really, I felt it was really important to share with you guys and to share some of the feedback that other people had. There were, I think, 1,500 people there, something like that. The governor has through his representative, stated that it was very important to him to pass the water tax. And some of the objections that were raised floored me because as I don't think the water tax is a good way to fund water projects for communities that already have access. The problems that I have with it are there's state revolving fund money that is unspent to the extent that they took away the SRF fund from the Department of Public Health and gave it to the Department of Water Resources because the federal government said they would not continue to fund our program because we were dispersing the funds so poorly. So the state responded and said, okay, we will move the money from the environmental health, we'll give it to Water Resources Control Board, they will move the money out more efficiently. They still are significantly behind in rolling out SRF money. And in fact, I learned 2 weeks ago that there's even more delays in SRF rolls out because they're putting a new accounting program into Sacramento. So they're saying there'll be 6-month delays, but leave that aside. If there's SRF money for communities that we're having trouble getting the money out to because we don't have the infrastructure to move that money out fast enough, and this water tax would fund more like projects, I see a disconnect there. Several of the water utilities brought up the issue that they are not set up to collect a tax. And so it means buying new accounting software to manage and track the tax. Several other water utilities brought up the point that tax is handled by the State Board of Equalization, which is yet another group of Sacramento government people that have their own protocol and are incredibly fussy about auditing how much tax you owe and whether you're on time. Then it was brought up, well, if we have community members who are low income, this is incredibly egregious to increase their water bill to pay for low income water. So apparently the governor says, yes, it would be okay to have a program where they were exempt from paying the water tax. At which point the question was brought up, well, who's going to do that? You can't even give the money away, and you're telling me now you're going to audit all the people. Oh, no, the water utility would do that. And so literally the burdens that we were told front and center as the governor's mission is that we would certify which of our community members needed to pay the water tax and which one didn't. We would then collect that tax and have a way of tracking who we've collected the tax so the State Board of Equalization knows that we're not cheating on this sales tax. And then this tax would be sent to Sacramento to go into the pot of money that they can't give away fast enough already. So, I'm merely one of a team here, but it seems to me that it might be worth our making a statement, writing a letter, issuing whatever comment that this seems like a really bad program. And several people brought up the point that the state has the infrastructure to charge a tax. They do this to make a living. So putting the burden on us is perhaps not helpful. And several of the utilities brought up the cost that it would cost to buy new accounting software just to manage the tax as a significant burden. So that's my suggestion. I throw it to you as my esteemed colleagues to see what we can do.
I brought this up like three meetings ago. I already saw this coming.
Dave, I'm sorry.
Yeah, and
Can you
just-
give us a summary of what's happened up to this point, please?
I think we should
There was a lot of
agendize.
activity on this in the legislature. This was for people who have bad water supplies, that have water that is not fit to drink, I understand. There were moves afoot in the legislature here in California to create this program, which were subsequently not passed, failed, and left to wither, as it were. Now I understand that the governor is going to try and resurrect that. What is the process by which they would have to do this? How does this work? How long will it take for him to muster the appropriate bills and stuff and go through the legislatures to make it happen? That's the first question.
I think those are excellent questions for an agendized discussion.
In other words,
that
what's
where
the
we could-
likelihood that he can actually pull this off, given what's happened up to this point with the legislature in California and with the previous requests? We need to understand more about how, realistic this would be to ever happen. So
Well, certainly,
that's all I'm just
certainly
saying.
Aqua is
Right.
heavily involved in this.
Yeah, we got to have a lot of
thing.
people
There's a
that are
lot
working
of-
to offset
This is, I think they are going to keep trying. They just
Right.
see enterprise districts as
Sure.
as a sort of a cash cow
Right.
for various things the legislature wants to do. So I would suggest that we agendize it and look at what Aqua is Aqua's usually asking us to be involved, so
Right.
we could go over that.
I think we should understand what the options are and what we need to do to help. I think APA is going to be the point for doing this, and we have to figure out what do they want from us to help them make this statement, not from us individually to go and tell the governor, he's off on the wrong planet or something. So that would be good.
Like many other legislative initiatives.
Right.
So
we can't do a lot about it. We're going to have to react to it and deal with
I'm
it.
sure Bosca's gonna have some,
Right, sure.
Yeah,
Well-
we're talking about, I will give the Bosque report in a minute, I'll tell you what we're talking about. So my understanding is this is gonna add about, what is it, 90, from an inch and lower, it's 94 cents per customer, which
Yeah.
is about at 1%. When we go to monthly billing, it's gonna be right in there at 1%, which is, 1% is 1%. But, if we need, inflation is 3-ish, so it's 1 plus 3, and then, cost of, infrastructure is going up certainly at, beyond inflation. So it's just another tax on our water that's, no, I don't think it's sustainable. And what did we raise our rates last year? We still got, how many letters?
Yeah.
I would assume that 218 doesn't have any effect on any of this stuff on a tax on.
Yeah, again,
water supply. Huh?
I suggest we agendize.
Okay, that's, yeah,
Well,
right.
what,
I think that's
last
a
question,
great
will our software support this?
It should.
Okay, yeah, because I can see software packages are very, very expensive.
So we should put on the agenda.
So
Put it on the
for
agenda.
next month, if
Yeah.
we could?
Yeah, sure,
Could you be
sure.
prepared by then, or would you like 2 months?
So we're in this ugly head again.
Next month?
Yes.
Is that all right with everyone?
Oh, yeah, no.
Yeah.
Great. Anybody else attend meetings, or?
Yeah, I went to a Bosca meeting, and it's just, I wish people paid more attention to what really is going on and what our government's up to. So we're looking at Los Vaqueros Reservoir as kind of a insurance policy, should we go into a drought again. It would cost Bosque agencies about $1.5 million a year to have the option of accessing Los Vaqueros water during droughts at a cost of $2,400 an acre foot, and it's crappy water. Yeah, obviously, I'm sure I'd like to talk to you, what are your, that seems insane. And then, New York Times California edition had a great article. There's a water district in Blythe, California, Palo Verde Irrigation District. They have access to unquantifiable amounts of water from the Colorado River. Unquantifiable. From the 1800s. Well, who do you think bought 15,000 acres within that irrigation district to grow alfalfa? Saudi Arabia. What they're doing is growing alfalfa, you put it in a hydraulic squeeze, you put it in a container, and they ship it out to the Middle East. Do you know how much they're paying for that water? $70 an acre foot. And we're going hat in hand to buy water for $2,400 a foot. I wish my customers understood how this water world operates. And there should be outrage, they should be writing their senators, and we shouldn't be allowing this to happen. That was a very interesting topic of discussion at Aqua. I'm not at Aqua, at Bosco. The other one is Bay Delta Plan, which is because of the Bay Delta Plan, we are now going out begging for alternate sources of water because Tuolumne water that we had thought we were entitled to is now at risk. So, welcome to the water world, and where every percent counts.
Is there a
And
timeline for
Yeah,
that?
but
for which?
For the loss of the Catchertree water?
It's, well, the Bay Delta, about a year-ish, and we can't, there is litigation going on. We're hoping for a negotiated settlement, but SFPUC, Bosca have chose to sue the state of California. All it does is, it just preserves our right to sue in the future, but we're hoping for a negotiated settlement. Are you following this at all, or?
Just to the extent of what you've updated.
Yeah,
but
so-
basically, it's in litigation right now.
Hopefully this year, but we'll probably, I don't think we're gonna,
How much water will we lose?
Probably,
They want, so what do they want, 40, they want 40% unimpaired flows in the Tuolumne. So in the time of a drought, the Don Pedro Dam, the new Don Pedro Dam, which it was the expansion of the original Don Pedro Dam, instead of being a water bank for us, it was built as a water bank, it will be now used to maintain 40% unimpaired flows in the Tuolumne during times of drought. So our losses, depending on how many year drought we're in, and Kathleen, you may know more about the numbers here, our reductions could get pretty severe, 20-30% cutbacks.
I'm sorry. The governor has made some moves toward having a single tunnel or whatever for
Yeah,
this.
single bore.
This is all part of stuff, and the bond issue, I think, didn't quite fly for this big guy, and,
Well, Metropolitan apparently has agreed to
I mean,
pony
there's all
up.
sorts of squabbling on it. We'll hear more about this at the Aqua meeting. I'm sure they'll have some sessions on this, the Department of Water Resources, about how they all have different views of all this. The problem is simply now, if you add to that, the changes that the Trump administration is bringing in with some of the executives in various of the positions here in the water business, or wanting to do things, it's going to get to be pretty interesting over the next few years, I would expect.
Yeah.
Because there's all kinds of changes that are in process that are being talked about, and differences in the way we do business that are being put on the table. So I'm telling you, that means we should have that meeting on water at some point and discuss all of this strategically to see what any of this means for us. We're gonna have a strategic session on all this, and this is all more reason for doing that, no?
Yeah, and it's all on the backs of our ratepayers. That's the
Yeah,
unfortunate
yeah,
part.
I mean,
you know.
this is gonna be a lot of stuff, a lot of balls are bouncing around, aren't they, these days? Yep. Okay, well, there's another reason to have that strategic session. Very good.
Thanks.
Other stuff? Did Bosco do anything about this? Can they make any noise? Can
Oh,
they-
absolutely. Oh, yeah, no.
They're gonna do something, right?
Look, our Bosco dues are going up to support that law firm over there. I think we exceeded our legal this year. But apparently, oh, no, you know what? The balancing fund. The balancing fund for water purchases from SFPUC, apparently that's a huge number. Do you have any idea what our percentage of it is? And yeah, so that's, our budget shortfall, I believe we're gonna take from the balancing fund, so
Well, Bosco's allowed to use the balancing fund for certain expenditures related
Yeah.
to conservation and other things. So there's a suggestion that, well, Bosco is proposing a 28% budget increase year over year for next year, and they're proposing to
takes a lot of it from the balance.
Yeah, to sort of mitigate the increases on the member agencies by taking some of the money out of the balancing fund.
But there's
But ultimately, it all comes out of the member agencies.
Sure,
out
but
of
the
our
balancing
water
fund
bill.
number was huge. It was,
Well, it's gotten big because over the last couple of years, it's up in the 20, 50 million.
yeah, I think 35 million or something
Big
like that.
number. It's
I
a
was
big number.
really surprised what a big number it was.
But it goes up and down pretty dramatically.
But it's all, because of litigation, we have to protect, the interests of our customers, and it's,
And it's the balancing fund that allows SFPUC to go this year and the next 3, which is what they've projected, with a 0% rate increase. So they're collecting what otherwise would be a rate increase from the balancing fund, which is kind of what it's for.
yeah. But ultimately, it all comes from the customer's pockets, and that's, yeah, so it is certainly worth,
Yeah, more often, I used to once a month now instead of every 2 months.
yeah.
But you didn't talk about the good news.
But it'll be smaller.
Oh, the good news,
Yeah, about Calaveras being, talk
I forgot, yeah.
about that.
Yeah, and it was actually, Steve Ritchie said it was even higher. I think he said, I don't know what it.
Say
58.
Yeah, I think he said 60%. Oh. And so the ribbon cutting at Calaveras is May 3rd, I think. But because we're looking at Los Vaqueros, we're really, this Bay Delta plan really has us all scared. So now we're looking at raising Calaveras
Oh, wow.
again. So we haven't even had the ribbon cutting, and they're already talking about 2022. starting the process to raise it again. I mean, the environmental docs, it would, it would take years, so there's quite a timeline there. But it's, before the ribbon cutting, we're already talking about doing it all over again.
It's a great place to store water.
Yeah, I had no idea that the watershed would, well, this year was certainly an exceptional year. So, the timing couldn't have been better, having a new dam up in a great water year.
Yeah, so, I mean, when we've been watching it at 15% for years.
Yeah.
That's great to see that. Well, thanks.
Yeah,
Other-
thanks for reminding me.
Other
Well,
comments?
since everybody did something.
Yeah.
Being
Well, I was
the,
doing
being
something.
the duly selected member of the external organization for CSDA, California Special Districts Association, I chatted with Dave about this a little, it's pretty funny. I want to discuss, I went to a meeting by hearsay, actually, without attending. I figured out what went on and learned by hearsay what happened at the last meeting. They had a meeting on February 12th, which is unfortunate because that's our board meeting. And all their meetings are every 2 months on our board meeting dates, so it's pretty tricky. Okay, in any event, a neighbor of mine went to this meeting as a representative of another agency, and he lives close by, so I happened to see him ride my bike, and I said, "Did you go to that meeting by any chance?" He says, "Yeah." I said, "What'd you think?" And he said that it was a very eclectic meeting. It's quite diverse in interests. As we know in CSDA, there are all kinds of organizations and agencies, mosquito and vector control and water and all kinds of things. They discuss how to make the agency, that is the CSDA, work more efficiently, talk about their progress in their own agencies, what they've been doing, mostly infrastructure improvements, et cetera. And also, they seem to have a really particular interest in LAFCO. That was the major hot button at the meeting he was in. There seemed to be a lot of concern about LAFCO, the size of their budget, what they do, et cetera. So they called a special meeting just to discuss the LAFCO budget, as I understand it. I couldn't make that one either due to a prior commitment. And what he got away from all of that, from some of the people that were there, just so as information, is that LAFCO, in their present form, seems to be moving away from the determination to consolidate.
Right.
They seem to be moving away from trying to get everybody to play together in the same pen. They seem to be looking at how to make the existing organizations work better, how to make all the organizations more efficient in the way they approach their business. So it's sort of a new thrust, as he understood it. And so I'm just bringing that back as information. I wasn't there, I heard about it, and I saw what they were trying to do in terms of the LAFCO environment. So I think that LAFCO may be doing it slightly differently going forward because they can't seem to make it work the way that they had tried to for all these years. That's as much as I can offer at this point. They had the budget meeting, I don't know what happened. But they were pretty concerned about the fact they had as much money and what they did with it, et cetera, which was an interesting subject for a meeting of the Special Districts Association, I thought. So that's all I know. It seems like they're not achieving their objectives and looking maybe for a different way to exercise authority in the area, special interest areas, the things that we've talked about in the past. Right? That's what I did.
I think special districts see LAFCO as an existential threat,
Right.
some more than others.
We shall
But
remain
LAFCO
nameless.
really has never had any teeth in terms of, they can determine spheres of influence and things like that, but they never had any teeth in terms of forcing consolidations or even
I mean,
encouraging.
in some sense, it seems reasonable to make a thrust to have the agencies operate in a more efficient, professional, and coordinated manner, at least, perhaps, in terms of partnerships and stuff like that. So I think that was at least a good thought, whatever else. Toward. Yes,
Yeah,
ma'am.
thanks.
I don't think that it would, I don't foresee it affecting us significantly, but the state of California was really clear that they intend to require consolidations as one of their key compliance structures, to the tune that if a water utility is in violation, consolidation will be one of the things that the district engineer reviews.
Would they have legislation
To require it, they do.
Yeah.
They already enacted that.
Because right now, LAFCO has no teeth at all.
No, this isn't LAFCO. This is the State Water Resources Control Board Drinking Water Division, who holds and issues our water permit to operate. And they can require consolidation.
Okay.
That's an interesting avenue.
Well, we'd be a poster child for that. I mean, we have 5 water and sewer districts. I mean, the amount of waste here has got to be just off the
The way it was worded was that if a water district has a violation, this can then be considered a solution.
How about a sewer district?
It wasn't brought up because it's a water conference, so we tried to plug our ears and not hear.
You water.
Yeah.
I thought Dave had the best suggestion today to change the word from consolidation to cooperation.
Right.
And so I think that's a really positive way to look at it going forward. You know, see if we can affect some change on a positive direction.
Yep. All right, what do we got for a?
So moving along, quarterly financial review, and I'm assuming that the Assistant General Manager will be leading the charge.
Yes, so we have, I think, good news for us. 9 months into our fiscal year, we're ahead of our plan, which is great. We didn't necessarily think that 3 months ago, but one of the things I'll point out is that, right now, we're like within 0.4% of our water revenue. So we're on plan. It may need to stop raining, or I will say, the rain may influence our water revenue if it rains a lot more in April and May, but anyway, so we're in good shape on that front. We are also, we're year-to-date revenue overall is $202,000 above budget, primarily due to higher than planned property tax receipts, our ERAF revenue, and which is property tax based, and also we are earning more interest on our cash in the bank. We've moved a lot of money to LAIF, and their interest rate has gone up quite a bit this year, up to like 2.4%. So, that's good news for us. Our operating expenses are $59,000 over budget, but that's really, we've had a lot of, the first part of the year, we weren't able to utilize our local sources, largely Denniston. So we ended up paying $541,000 more to SFPUC for water. But we've had offsets to that, including $198,000 savings in personnel-related costs, partly due to Dave working part-time, and then we had some vacancies as well. We've also had some offsets in PG&E costs. With not running Denniston, we saved PG&E, but one of the other pieces of the PG&E costs is that we were taking a lot more water from Pilicitas Reservoir versus from Crystal Springs. So we're not paying, to run Crystal Springs as much. So, that's good news. We've had our outside professional services, including legal and engineering, are lower than what we planned. And we have, we got a credit on our insurance recently, a rebate from prior years, and we didn't expend the election costs as well. So that's really helped us. So, just in terms of our operating expenses. The other piece is that we're, with refinancing our 2006 bond issue, we saved $98,000 this year. So that's good news for us too. So we are, with the 9 months, we were ahead, in our contribution to CIP, and our reserves, $240,000 on the bottom line. So.
Fantastic.
So, good news.
Yeah, it is.
Yep, so, now I'll say with our CIP, we're behind in our spending. right now. You know, by, you know, at least 1.5 million. But we are, as you know, we are working very closely
EPI is
with,
going to eat that up. right?
yeah, we're going to, yes. Because we're working very closely with EKI, and they're helping us project manage our CIP. And you'll be seeing some projects in May that, you know, are out to bid right now that will ask for your approval. So, you know, they are really helping us to push forward and on our spend. The other piece, our cash reserves are up 2 million, but that's because we're not spending the CIP as fast as what we had. So, but all in all, good shape, so.
Great job. It's exciting.
So
Nice to
given,
hear good news.
Yes,
given the state of the nation at this point, in terms of budget and our expectations for the year end, it would seem unlikely that we would have to alter our plan for the second year budget that we had established last year. I know we'll be talking about it, but it's unlikely that we would have to do anything significant to it
No,
to seem, you know, to get more than we had planned to get, so to speak.
right.
Correct?
You know,
It's pretty
yes.
firm. I mean,
But what we would like to do is to have a
Sure.
finance meeting this month to
Right.
go through that, so.
Okay,
great.
good.
Okay, so moving right along, item B, general business, is the approval of the board committees. We decided at the last meeting, and I think it's been our policy for a long time, that the standing committee members need to be authorized by the board, by a vote of the board of directors. And so we had a vacancy on the district facilities committee, and we were talking about having our newly appointed director, Larimer, join Director Reynolds on that particular committee. There's also the issue Director Feldman raised, that maybe the best tag team we could have on the advisory committee, Montero Water and Sanitary Mutual Interest Group, would be the tag team of Director Larimer and Director Michelson. So Bob was suggesting that maybe he would
Yeah, I'd be happy
withdraw
to
from that
cede my,
and
I
create
have a
a...
number of other things to
create a
do, and I
position.
maybe that evens it out a bit more, gives Jim another
So, and I
assignment.
would stay on the recycling as well?
Yes, uh-huh,
So I'd be, and then that would be the interconnect?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
It makes sense because recycling involves Montera sewer and
Right.
water
Oh, yeah.
pretty
that would be
pretty
a good-
intimately, so.
good fit. And there's a lot of interest, I think, in that area. And my
Where's
interest
It'd be
is,
wonderful if we
Take us
could
now.
basically get them to cooperate with us.
Yeah, that's it.
There'd
That'd be
be
good.
mutual benefit. I know, for example, that they have a serious problem with their wells in the airport, and, you know, I guess we're not really, it's not really possible for our facility to clean that water for them, but, you know, maybe there would be some synergy there, that sort of
something to
thing.
look at.
I think it would be great. So, other than that change,
I'm fine.
is everybody good on that? And so I would entertain a motion
Oh.
to approve the board committees as presented.
Go ahead.
Yeah,
With the
so,
change.
so making the change that for Montero Water and Sewer, we would substitute Larimer for Feldman, sorry, there's no I, Feldman. I'd like to make a motion that we adopt this, board committees.
I'll second that.
And it's really the standing committees that we have to approve, right, Dave?
Yes.
Yeah. The other committees actually don't have to be approved, but we're doing it as a unit,
Okay.
so I think it's great. So it's been moved by Director Reynolds, seconded by Vice President Michelson,
I'm there on-
that we
there's
approve the board
somebody.
committees as amended
Right.
and presented.
Okay.
Could you roll call, please?
Director Larmer,
Yes?
Vice President Michelson.
Yes.
Director Feldman.
Yes.
Director Reynolds.
Yep.
And President Coverdale.
Yes, and thank you very much for your involvement. I see a real motion in the ocean I'm excited about.
It'd be wonderful if that happened, and it would be aligned with apparently how LAFCA is going to change.
I think it'd be great. Really great.
Cooperation would be wonderful. It would be good for the entire community.
Forever, for our kids. Do it for the kids. So, monthly informational reports, Assistant General Manager's report.
Okay.
How could you add to that last report? Ed, Michael?
Oh, with handouts, that's how you could add to it.
Oh no.
I will be fast.
It looks like a PowerPoint or.
Well, you know,
Thick is it?
Here,
and I'm not
wait a
gonna
second.
go- I'm not going to go through every page, I will say.
You gave this, huh?
Oh, here's, I had to come through.
Oh, okay.
Oscar SCVW. What is it?
Okay. So on March 27th, BOSCA held a day-long workshop on AMI implementation. And so Kathleen and I were asked to attend and participate on a panel, particularly since we were so far along in our implementation. And so our panel focused on AMI and customer engagement. So I thought I would share with you a few of our thoughts. Actually, I might, just to give background to this, very few of our BOSCA agencies have completed full implementation of AMI, and so, many are currently running pilots. And so we were, seen as one of the leaders in, coming forward. So we were actually joined on the panel with Hillsborough, who has implemented AMI and WaterSmart, and they did so a couple of years ago in response to some of the issues they had during the drought and where they weren't meeting their drought goals. So, and then also Mid-Peninsula was on the panel. So, so I'm going to move you to slide 3, that one, goals. So, one of the things we shared with the audience is, was, all our goals for AMI and for having a customer web portal. So, some of the key issues we're looking for would be, being able to provide water usage to our customers, helping customers with high bills, but also getting, better data for water loss issues, going to monthly billing, having consistent number of days in our billing cycles, and being able to compare those to our production cycles. So, and I think as we look at this, and now that we really fast tracked our implementation versus going the slow path, we're already seeing these benefits. I noted that we are starting to implement monthly billing, for instance, and in March we rolled out monthly billing to Ocean Colony. We will be doing Clipper Ridge in the next month, and then the fall roll out monthly billing to all of our other customers. So these are important benefits that we've received. But in terms of customer engagement, we implemented WaterSmart, and we actually rolled it out we actually implemented back in the spring, but we really rolled it out to our customers in October. So, and with this, I'm going to have you skip to. Go back one. So, one of the things that, I wanted to stress with us, why we, with implementing WaterSmart is that we really, I think we were thoughtful, about how we rolled it out. And our workflow design, we actually hired a person last year, have repurposed a customer service position to really be the one focusing on WaterSmart and Aclara and working with our customers to identify leaks, work with them on high bills. And, I will say she is just so well received. She's really great. One of the things, her background, she came from AT&T and she was in the she was in the escalation group at AT&T.
I talked to her once.
Give me someone who speaks English.
Somebody not in Bangalore.
Yeah, so she.
Wasn't one side.
Yeah, so she's great. So just to let you know, our typical workflow is, she looks at WaterSmart and Aclara reports every day, and anybody who has a leak over 7 gallons, she's gonna contact. Usually, we try by email or she'll call. In these first few months, she's really, made a point of calling, and she assists customers on the phone with identifying what the source of the leaks could be, trying to get them to identify the problem. We will, right now, we are averaging about 10% of our the contacts we have with customers. We may send out a field technician to help the customer. But that's, but we're very, our customers really are giving us amazing accolades for doing this, and, and we're really helping them to save. So I'll just quickly flip through. So Kathleen did a great job of doing, some, good, wonderful outreach to customers, postcards, constant contact. We, advertise in the review. So, and so at this point, we have about 10% of our residential customers on WaterSmart, but, we really, as I say, it was October when we started adding customers. So, we're going to keep pushing to get customers on the WaterSmart. Vicki actually visited Hillsborough today, in fact, and to get some tips on. They have 75% of their residential customers on WaterSmart.
Wow.
So we, I'll say that. We're getting traction. In the past 90 days, we've had 900 unique instances, visits to WaterSmart by 249 visitors. So we can go on a couple. These are just some of the outreach pieces, and with using WaterSmart, the customer is able to see leaks and possible leaks. So on this you'll see orange, and that's where they, it's a assumed leak in the system. You can get the text alerts on your phone. So, I think it really creates a self-service environment for the, customer as well. So, the next, this slide. One of the things I think is really amazing news with this is that we get these alerts that are the constant consumption. So since the spring of 2018, when we started to work with WaterSmart and really Aclara side by side, I have 800. We've contacted 822 customers about possible leaks. Actually, that number today I checked and it was 890. So, wow. So we are, and then of these, we, sometimes we get confirmation directly from the customer, so that we've had 200 plus customers respond back and tell us about what their leak was. But 48% of them to date have been irrigation leaks and 31% toilets. So anyway, so it's a kind of, and now as we get into people turning your irrigation on again, we're starting to get more alerts. So
this is more than 10% of the customers.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yes.
We have 6,500.
Yeah.
So it's about 12-13%.
Yeah. Some of those could be repeat customers,
but I mean,
they're-
it's a big number.
Yeah, it's a big number.
It's not insignificant. It's not 1% or anything.
No,
My
it's-
mom's about a third of them.
We've had a few.
My mom is 300.
I thought it was your wife with a garden hose.
Oh,
No, my mom calls this Stalk My Mother instead of WaterSmart.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not going well.
Yeah.
We've also saved some disasters, too. I mean, where customers have had leaks in their foundations, and, and so it's been good. I will say, I think what's the most interesting data is that of these 822 leaks that we looked at, for this presentation, they totaled 39,000 gallons per hour of leaks. So we get these reports back of how many gallons are being, on a per hour basis. That, so with these leaks, the volume of the leaks before stopping with 3 million gallons.
Wow.
Now, consider that we stopped them probably within a few days of the leaks happening, but in the old days,
60-day cycle.
in the 60-day cycle,
Yeah.
you would see
Scary math.
it's scary math.
Yeah.
You are seeing some of the well, I think our impact on our revenue, but I think really our customers are really thinking.
That's the way you're looking at it.
Well,
Yeah, right, yeah, right.
not, but
If we have a bad month, we'll just turn off the,
Yeah, right. For a month.
The system's
We
down.
We need money, we just turn off
sorry,
water smart,
technology
right?
doesn't operate, so.
We have a system for
Reliable.
water smart.
But I will say, in general, I think we've had, very favorable response that we're helping.
I'm reading some of the comments.
Yeah.
I love you.
It's not
You
personal.
saved me.
It's not personal.
You can go to the next slide.
No,
So
no, it isn't
so
very-
this is a chart that.
These are some cute comments. I love it. Wow, thanks. That is very nice. Yeah, I love it.
Proactive approach. That's exactly what we were doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this chart shows the cost in the 60-day billing cycle, but basically, one gallon per hour leak equates to 1 unit per month of excess water used.
Wow.
So these leaks add up fast. Generally, though, we say we start with the 7 gallon per hour just because of ability to find leaks. It's hard to find leaks under 7, but anyway.
You were asked to present this? I'm sorry, you didn't tell us what the...
Yes,
How was
Kathleen and I presented, and then we
Yeah.
answered
But
questions.
how are you invited? I'm just...
Bosca.
Bosca.
and Santa Clara Valley Water.
And who else was there presenting on the panel?
Well, there were a lot of Bosca agencies.
Were there more people on your panel, or was this panel just of you?
Well,
Sorry.
we had Hillsborough and Mid-Peninsula, but there were several other
Okay, no,
panels
so
throughout
yeah,
the
it was
group.
like,
Yeah.
I'd
Yeah.
like to have it up for some time, a panel of people. I had a technical question. A challenge, I'm not sure. Something like this. Aqua, once a year, twice a year, they have a meeting, and at the meeting, they have a presentation of agencies who have done things that are pretty interesting. And they give them awards, honorable mentions, and they deserve them for something they've achieved, which was above and beyond the call of duty maybe for an agency of that type. Do we have any way of getting this to be observed and seen by them? I'm just asking. I like to pursue excellence. And this is a game that we've played and took many years, but we did something good. And I would see this as being something that would be interesting to people to see what an agency did with customer engagement. That's the word. Customer engagement to make this happen and getting your community to be behind you and support, the whole business, which I think was a challenge. I'm just asking. I don't know if this qualifies. I don't even know how you get nominated or who nominates you or you nominate yourself. You understand? So.
That's a technical question?
How could we do that? I'm just asking. Maybe it's not viable and it's not even really feasible.
We hadn't really thought about that. We've been too busy,
No, I know.
doing it, so.
You've done it.
They have committee meetings, and you would go to the committee
No,
meeting.
I'm
So
not
we haven't,
doing them.
we have not explored that, but we
Yeah.
could think about
Could
it.
you, I would like you to consider how you would approach having this type of thing presented as a nomination either by us, by the board,
Yeah.
or somebody to the committee that makes the decision.
But aren't you
And
going-
see if,
Aren't you going to the Aqua meeting?
no, you are.
No,
You're the Aqua rep, I'm not the Aqua rep. Yeah, I'm going to the Aqua meeting.
Yeah, you're
But
going
not
to the
this
Aqua
one, it
meeting.
can't be this one, it would have to be 6 months from now.
Yeah, so at the.
They've already made the
At the
decision.
Aqua meeting, go to the committee meetings and say, hey, I want to submit a paper.
No, I'm not sure that's the way.
We'll look at it.
We'll look at it.
Yeah, we'll
I'm
look
just,
at
I'm thinking out loud. I would really like to
I'm looking
see,
at Kathleen.
yeah, I was looking at Kathleen when I was thinking about this also.
She's trying to avoid me.
I just think we should at least research it and decide whether it makes sense or not.
I think it's great. I think if you drafted a letter, you could raise,
Well, we gotta find out what to do.
sure.
Maybe the
draft a
board
letter.
could draft a letter and say, we believe this is worthy of consideration by Aqua as one of the nominees for this achievement award. It's an achievement award of some sort. And there's a winner, and then there are like 5 honorable mentions or something.
Well, thanks for making us proud
Yeah,
of the great work you guys do. And thanks for sharing it. I think it's wonderful.
thanks.
Great outreach, really wonderful.
Right.
I wonder, does the review know about this as well?
Well, yeah, they know it,
Yeah,
yeah.
they had an article.
Right.
And then we advertised.
But do they know that you guys participated in this meeting?
Oh, no.
No.
So maybe we should let them know about that. I mean, this presentation is really nice.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Something for our community. I don't know, it's all worth thinking about.
Yeah,
We'll
fantastic.
tweet it to our
Tweet
4
it to us.
followers.
That worked for some people.
Our Twitter followers are all other agencies.
All right, thanks, sorry. I was just thinking about
Those
it.
5 of us here, maybe we should all take turns responding.
I would just say that this has been really an amazing effort. We started trying to sell this concept to the board maybe 6 years ago.
7 years ago, I
And
remember.
we kept coming back, and finally, we sold the concept, but it has taken a huge effort, led by Mary and assisted by Kathleen and other staff
I remember.
to put this in place. It really has been a big effort that has involved everybody at the district, from the administrative staff to the field staff. And it's, so we're all really proud of it, and everybody's really been able to participate and see the benefits. So it's been a great program.
How do you get the Water Smart app on your phone? I looked for it in the Android store. I didn't see it.
We'll send you a link.
Okay. Definitely
Oh,
will.
her
So,
lady.
Mary, can you sign up from our webpage or?
Yes, you
Okay.
can.
Are you on a Droid now?
Yeah.
So did we cut into your report?
No, no, I think
Completed that?
that's basically
Oh,
what I
no,
was
I fully agree.
going to go over.
I
didn't
felt
want
like we
that to-
kind of made you
What's the
jump
learning curve going?
pages and stuff. Thank you very much. Great job.
Do it.
That's why.
So item
I have a very good.
B, we'll hear from our superintendent.
Everybody tells me that, but God, would I love to leave the Apple platform because they're criminal. Adrenaline rush.
Good evening, board members. It's been a busy month, even though it's been raining quite a bit. We replaced 14 hydrants this past month. We've been doing very good on that aspect, so that's a total of 37 as of this report printing. John Davis corrected me, and we've got about 40 now, but I told him that's for next month. We relocated an air relief valve on Columbus Street, replaced a PRV vault lid at Santiago and Ventura. We tested 12 hydrant meters for accuracy. 8 of them ended up getting tossed and replaced. The criteria is 1.5% either side of 100, so plus or minus 1.5%. Replaced the clear well sample pump at Nunes. And Sean Donovan presented at the California-Nevada AWWA conference in Sacramento on the Denniston project. He co-wrote a presentation with Joe, and West Yost participated as well. And I hear it was very well received. I didn't make it to it.
It was very well attended. There were about.
Did you go?
Yeah, there were
Great.
about 75 people there. The questions were good, and the presentation was really good, and Joe didn't play his harmonica during the presentation.
Wait till the end.
Yeah. No, it went very well, and we were very well presented, and I was impressed how many people were intrigued to hear what we'd done and see how it was done. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, so much like your true's presentation to Tabasco,
small district, doing big things.
Right.
That's really great to hear, that,
That's the story.
Yeah, and I couldn't be more proud of this small district leading the way. That's
Yeah, and I
awesome.
think it was real nice for Sean to put in the effort and
Yeah, that's great.
show off what
Yeah.
he contributed so much towards.
Yeah.
Source supply in March, Denniston Reservoir, Pilarcitos Lake, and the wells. The wells are off as per permit, but we are currently on Denniston and Pilarcitos Lake. And the treatment staff is trying to see how much water we can get out of Denniston. And I think today we're at 750 gallons a minute, which is above and beyond our typical 500 to 600 gallons a minute. So we're working out the bugs there and trying to push the plant as much as we can.
Great.
Projects, Bell Moon Pipeline Replacement Project, I think we're within a day or two of getting the easements from the Andrinis secured. The clay valve pump control valves for Crystal Springs are here. We're going to try to get those installed this next month before the summer season hits. The Casa del Mar PRV project and the Ferdinand Pipeline project are both out to bid. Bid openings are on the 19th and the 25th for those projects, so we'll be coming to the next month's board meeting with some projects for you. And we're continuing to work with Packport Consulting on the Alves Restoration Project. And Friday, we should have 95% specs and plans. If you have any questions, I'm here at your pleasure.
Great.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Great job.
I'll mention one other piece of operations news. Our longest tenured, well, it's operations, it's the whole district. Our longest tenured employee, John Davis, who's been here, I think, 28 years, something like that. 28 years, has set his retirement date. He'll be retiring on July 12th. So.
Oh, that soon?
Yes. So we congratulate, John will have more to say about that, but we've got a great staff in the field group, and we're going to be doing a recruitment to see.
Internally?
Well, internal will be eligible, so we think we have
Well, we are doing-
an excellent internal candidate or candidates, and I think it's always good to do a recruitment to see what the best people out there might have an interest in doing with us. So we've been very successful in our recruiting efforts. Witness, we brought James on board. I feel like we've been really fortunate in finding such great people. The district is an attractive place to work. We have an attractive salary structure, as you know. We're a small organization, and I mean, people really like working here, so that allows us to attract good people. And if we can, find somebody from the outside with the kind of experience that we'd like to see, we would consider that. We've got, the folks we have coming up are in their 20s, so they're going to be here a long time, and in many cases would benefit by having outside experience brought in that they can work with and learn from. So just wanted to let you know that's happening. We're a little on the older side, some of us, so there'll be a few more retirements. But I think we've done a good job at thinking about succession and bringing in young people and training the staff who will move into the positions of the folks that'll be leaving. So.
Great, thanks. So we'll hear the water resource report, and look at that, 8:02.
Well, President Coverdale usually do such a good snow report that you can chime in with this, but this, the April snow survey that the state does is the critical survey of measurements that help the Department of Water Resources and other water agencies to determine what the flow is going to be like, if they're going to fill reservoirs. And so we have had a very healthy snowpack. So they did the measurement, the physical measurement on April 2nd, I believe it was. And they estimated it to be about 162% of average for April 1st. We've had more snow, I believe, at least in certain areas since then. I know I saw pictures up at Mammoth and where they're getting more snow. So that's even getting better. So now they just want to make sure we don't get really hot temperatures and the snow melts too fast, because then we could have flooding. But I think everyone's breathing a sigh of relief that we had such a healthy year for precipitation in California, all the way across from Northern California all the way to Southern California. So,
That's a wonderful report.
yes, it was a very, we ended on a positive note.
Don't you think so? It's just great to have water in the bank.
Yes, yes, very good.
Thank you very much. Thanks for participating in the roundtable discussion or the presentation. That's great. Thanks for hanging in there. I know it's really late. So I think at this point, we're going to, unless there are director agenda items?
I have a question.
Sure.
So how do I get up to speed on these two committees that I'm now on?
Well, you call a committee meeting, and then you rev it up.
So what's the rules on that in terms of the Brown Act?
It doesn't matter, there's two of you.
There's just two of us.
Right.
But I mean, I'm going to be meeting with two different people, so is that a problem?
As long as you're not engaging in a serial meeting, you're okay.
Okay, all right.
And if you find it to be, confusing, or you think it's going to be at risk, then you should come and we'll modify that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, so it doesn't have to be scheduled or anything like that, so Chris and I
The
can
ad
get
hoc
together.
committees, no.
Well,
Glenn and I
we,
can get
for
together.
meetings of the standing committees, we
Yeah, that has to
we
be
notice
public
all of
notice.
those and comply with the Brown Act. So they're held
Facilities
here
has to
as
be
public,
noticed.
they're held here as public meetings.
Do you have
Advisory,
a
no.
copy of the
Advisory,
top
no.
three?
Pardon? I
The top
have
three
it.
ones,
I
yeah,
have
okay.
it.
And there's nothing to preclude any two board members or even less than a quorum from talking about anything, as long as you don't have a serial
Oh, okay.
meeting.
Yes, Chris.
So we need to get together, and whether we do that, but I mean, just,
So in general, for this, for the standing committees, the staff would schedule
Yeah, it
the
must be.
meetings.
That's what I was doing.
And we will be scheduling a meeting of the Finance Committee and a meeting of the Facilities Committee within the next couple of weeks, I would say, to go over the budget and the CIP before the May meeting.
Right.
Right.
So generally, for standing committees, the staff would schedule them, and if you feel the need to schedule a meeting, we'll be happy to do that and do all the appropriate notices and so forth.
Bob was pointing out that on the Bay Area Water Supply and Conservation Agency, it should be different dates. It should end June 30th,
Start
2021,
June
right?
2017.
And start June 2017.
Make sure we get
Yeah, because it's
corrected.
13 to 17 on this.
It's not
on this.
correct. It's just a typo. It should
Yeah.
be
Yeah, we'll get that
updated
changed
to
up.
17 to 2021. right?
So at this point,
For life.
So we can,
Simplify it.
at this point, we're going to adjourn this meeting.
well, we can
And-
convene in close, I don't think we have to
Convene in-
adjourn. We can reconvene in a
Oh.
public session after we finish closed session, report out of closed session, and then adjourn the public meeting. I think that's how we do it.
Yeah.
Would you
Okay.
agree with that?
Yep.
So at this point, we can take a short break and let the
Correct.
staff and the camera folks depart, and then we can convene into closed session.
Yeah, we'll take a 5-minute break, short break.
I understand that Pat does not normally stay. I can stay if you'd like me to, but I don't need to.
I think it's probably really important to get home to the family, but it's up
Okay.
to you. I think we can, we do a pretty good job.
Yeah,
He doesn't,
you've got it
he
handled.
doesn't attend because, I mean, just to,